It is the Richmond Tigers versus the Brisbane Lions. Really intriguing game, this one. It's at the G, but I'm not sure that favours Richmond quite the same way that it used to. Dan, what do you reckon?
Richmond look like absolute shite.
Oh, yes. Man.
They look like absolute shite right now.
Is the dynasty over?
It's real hard to... Yeah. You have that feeling in your gut that at some point they're going to turn it around, but I don't think that they can. They just look completely shot at the moment. They're really, really struggling. For the first 3 quarters against the Pies, they were playing some okay footy, and I was sitting there thinking, well, this will be enough to beat Collingwood. And then they just switched off even further and got put to the sword. So I'm really off the Tigers right now, and they've been copping all sorts of flack in the media this week. Cochin's up for it, Dusty's up for it,
and they hate that too.
They do.
They can't handle that at all.
Not happy.
There's a lot of adversity, and they haven't really faced any for the better part of 4 years. So it's going to be interesting to see how they respond.
What do you mean? When you say adversity, you mean on-field adversity?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say off-field.
Yeah, no kebab.
There's kebab shops from here to Castlemaine that want to talk to us.
The on-field adversity. They've been the best team in the comp for 4 years. Now they're pushed up against it. How do they respond? The Lions, on the other hand, one of the better teams in the competition, but had the colours lowered.
Big wake-up call
against the Saints. And we always say that this is the loss that they needed.
Yeah.
Just to
the Paul Keating loss.
Yeah, just to wet the whistle a little bit more, but they did not need to lose Eric Hipwood.
Yeah, that was tough.
Or Marcus Adams. My man, who on this show I said would get 15 touches, and he did. But he's getting no touches this week because he's out for the next month. Stress fracture in the ankle. So it's a big hole in the back line, and he was doing so much setting up behind the ball, cutting inside, looking to set up other blokes through the middle of the ground. It was 15 touches, but they were 15 genuinely influential touches, and I think that's an understated hole in Brisbane's back line. Do I think that's enough for the Tigers to get the win here? No, sir, I do not. I do not. Cochin is battling as hard as a man ever has. They do not know where to put him on the field at the minute. They're putting him in the guts because they have to, and he's just flopping and flailing. He's like the bucket of skin in a bucket. Yeah, he's like a bucket of skin. You know what I mean? And organs. And 2 eyes looking out, being like, don't give me the ball, please, for the love of God.
He's a ditto.
He's a ditto.
2000s week was last week. We'll leave that one on.
It's coming back.
We leave that one on. Who takes Hipwood's role? They are used to it because they've come. This is their first year with now 2 big. They've
been talking about Ballenden and Fullerton, but I don't really think either of them can fill the void. Obviously, and Hipwood remarkably durable throughout his career. I didn't really realise, but he played 110 of 113 games.
Correct.
Good, actually.
That's very good for a big man. Very good. So yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to fill that hole, but they will still be good enough to get the job done here.
I just think of the first loss of the year, as we mentioned last time I was on the pod against Sydney, and that was at home as well, and they lost by 50 points or whatever. The response of that is what I expect here. The response took them 3 rounds, so I think they were like 1-3 or something to start the year.
You're talking Richmond?
Yeah, no, I'm talking Brisbane.
You're on Brisbane? Okay.
When Brisbane lost to
They
Sydney.
were battling, yeah.
They lost to Sydney at the Gabba, right? That big loss against Sydney was what they needed. Like, they needed that. And this is exactly the same thing. It's really just deja vu. They've already lived it. And I think they're going to fire up. They won't look like the killers they looked against Geelong, or even against Melbourne. They look great. They won't look that good, but I reckon they'll get over the line here against Richmond. They don't have to be at their best to beat Richmond. They just have to play okay footy. And this is losing how they lost, because they got beaten everywhere, and it was like, ouchie wawa.
Tigers at the G though, it's still a danger. Do you know what I mean? It's like a serial killer and he's 65. Do you know what I mean? It's still a danger.
Something else to say. I think, who else have they lost to at the G this year? I'm going to look it up right now.
Collingwood.
Speaking of losses,
no, I'm talking about. Well, Collingwood beat them at the G.
Oh, so Richmond have lost it. Oh, they've lost a few games.
They've lost a few.
Heaps.
Yeah.
Giants almost.
Speaking of losses at the G, I wish I had a stat to hand, but I could swear that it's been a significant period of time since the Lions had a win at the G. I don't think they've won there in some years.
Well, I think they're
going
to
get that feeling.
I'm not going to speculate.
No, just get that feeling.
St Kilda also beat them at the G.
Yep.
Geelong whooped them. Oh, and see, obviously, like Melbourne beat them this year, so they've it's not really a fortress for them anymore.
Not anymore. No. Interesting. Jack's 300th though, fellas. Big Jackie Rewalt. Narratives. We love narratives here at the show.
We do.
Do the Tigers get around the faithful servant of the club, Jack Rewalt?
Well, they will want to.
Yeah, he'll kick a goal, but they won't win, I reckon.
They want to get around him, but if you're not good, then how do you do it?
This is a good question. I just don't know where the youth's coming from at the minute. It seems like if Cochin's battling, if you're battling for your first choice players to get on the field because everyone's injured, every bloke and his dog is just injured. you're seeing blokes like Mansell and stuff getting a run, but where's Jack Ross? You know what I mean? Where's Patrick Naish? Is he out there?
Yeah, Naish was out there.
Well,
Jack Ross has been playing cross halfback. They've been trialling him in the role. RCD played on the weekend, but just they're just nothing performances. But it's Richmond. It's Richmond. If it doesn't work for them this year, I think they'll be back next year.
Tinker, recalibrate. I'm tipping the Lions, though, for this one. I'm sorry. They've just looking too good. Even though they've got those holes there, I think this is the one they break the duck. They get the win at the G here. Talking bets, Dusty Martin, anytime goal, goes without saying. Shy Bolton, anytime goal, goes without saying. Stink Beans McCarthy, anytime goal, goes without saying. Dan McStay, anytime goal, goes with saying, because if Hipwood was playing, I probably wouldn't jump on McStay for a goal. But he stepped up. He stepped up last week in the absence. Kicked 1 goal too, but it was his around the ground work that got me looking up. And Jackie Rewalt, he'll have an anytime goal in his 300th, and that's his 5 legs paying $6.
Nice. I had Lockie Neal 30+. He was back to his best against St Kilda. Well, very close to it anyway. Maybe not his best. He's getting back there. And Zach Bailey for an anytime goal. Did you say that?
Nope.
Zach Bailey for an anytime goal.
I like Zach Bailey. Zach Bailey's been he's one of my favourite players this year.
He's very good.
One of the unsung heroes of the Des world.
He was handy last year, but I would say probably across the competition he was just about most improved this year. I reckon he's a bit of a standout for me.